My 17-year-old daughter has said, please, I've seen your dance moves, and so let's not let anybody with a cell phone and videotape that. So.
Once again, welcome to the BOBcast. I'm your host, Bob Riney, President and CEO of Henry Ford Health, and I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. The BOBcast is where Detroit's future comes into view. It's where you'll hear the big ideas, bold voices, and crucial conversations shaping our city, our region, and beyond. Real and unapologetically focused on creating a stronger, more vibrant future. With grit and grace, the podcast introduces you to relentless visionaries who are driving change and tackling some of the biggest challenges we face today. Joining me on today's episode is Kevin Guskiewicz. Dr. Guskiewicz is the president of Michigan State University. Kevin is an amazing leader that I've just been thrilled to get to know. He's not only leading the university, but he is the emerging partner in the next journey of Henry Ford Health and our partnership story. Really thrilled to have you here, Kevin. But before we get into the partnership, I want to ask you, as someone who relocated to the great state of Michigan, what are your impressions? What has surprised you positively or negatively?
Well, first of all, Bob, thanks for having me. Amy and I got to Michigan. It was sunny and 65 those first 2 weeks, and everybody said, don't get used to it because it's still going to snow. And we didn't believe them, but on April the 20th, we saw snowflakes. People are just incredibly warm and welcoming, and it's been great. I'm really looking forward to working alongside you and the teams to advance this incredible partnership with Henry Ford Health and Michigan State University.
I'm going to ask you a question before we get into the partnership about your role and how the role of a president of the university is changed over the last 10 years. What's different now in terms of how you spend your time versus perhaps what it would have been about 10 years ago? And then talk a little bit about the role of sports in the obligations of a university president.
To me, to have a successful leading global public research university like Michigan State University, it's about talent attraction. And so I've spent a lot of time over these past 12 months. It's about having a really good roadmap for the recruitment of top talent. If we're going to be a talent activator and putting our graduates out there to serve the state of Michigan and beyond and be the leaders of tomorrow, we have to prepare them to be leaders. And the way you do that is you model leadership and you hire great people that can prepare those future leaders. It's also about forecasting and being able to predict what's on the horizon. The famous Wayne Gretzky quote about why he was a great hockey player wasn't that he was a great skater or shooter, but he knew where the puck was going to be and he got to that spot on the ice. And the Henry Ford partnership with Michigan State is doing just that. It's identifying where the puck's going to be on the ice and being ready for it. But to your question about athletics, it's a big part of a college campus. I tell people it's one of many avenues into the university. It's certainly an important one at Michigan State, and I'm proud of our world-class faculty on campus, but also of our incredible coaches that provide opportunities for student athletes, but also for the fan experience on our campus. So it's a lot of fun, and we take it seriously.
There's a unique situation in Michigan where we have Michigan State University and the University of Michigan, both powerhouse national brands. Both have been national champions over the time in various sports, and yet there's intense competition between the two universities. How do you lean into that in a way that creates the competitive juices, but also doesn't cross the line between wanting to have strong academic universities throughout the state?
We have got to find opportunities to partner with one another. We certainly will compete on the playing fields and the basketball courts and baseball fields, but those competitive juices have to align and coalesce together whenever we're out there trying to work within the university research corridor that was created years ago that we are now reimagining and finding better ways that we can leverage our unique strengths at each of those three great universities to sort of coalesce around a common theme, whether it's advanced manufacturing to try to help the state of Michigan, or if it's around healthcare. And those are two of our four main priorities, as is artificial intelligence and sustainability.
I think the notion of collaboration and competition being mutually exclusive is nonsense. I think that they can coexist and they need to coexist. You know, if you were doing a commercial pitch about Michigan State and its unique contributions to the state of Michigan in comparison to the great universities like University of Michigan and Wayne State, what would you pitch us?
Michigan State was the pioneer land-grant university, 1855 founding, and it was built predominantly around agriculture, engineering, and education. Agriculture is a big part of what we do. We're helping to build out new opportunities to better grow products for our farmers and the dairy farmers. And we've got to stay true to that, but we have to become a more contemporary thinking university as well, and thinking about how we can define what the land grant of the future should look like. And that is where the healthcare comes into it. We've got 2 large medical colleges on our campus, a nursing school that's nationally recognized and doing incredible work up in Flint in public health, but also the work we're doing through the Broad College of Business. We've got the #1 program in supply chain management, #1 program in packaging through our Ag and Natural Resources College. That's what I've been pitching, and I'm excited about it.
Well, you've got a great track record of keeping your graduates in the state of Michigan and being a part of the economic vitality in the future. And, I think that is another distinguishing characteristic.
We had the largest incoming class in the history of the university this past fall, over 11,000 first-year students, and 73% of them are Michiganders. And we place 65% of our graduates in the state of Michigan for their first job and where they launch their careers. There's no other institution in the state that places that many graduates within the state. That's why I like to say we are Michigan's state university.
I love that. We share something in common as leaders in that we worry a lot about the safety of our workforce and the safety, in your case, of students. Campuses have become epicenters of political tension, which is in many ways a healthy thing, but not when it spills over into any kind of violence. And so how have you processed this whole safety issue while wanting to maintain the freedoms that I think shape the learning of people that are experiencing university?
We have to be a place where people can express themselves. Activism has been a part of college campuses for probably a century or more. We have to embrace that, yet we have to keep a safe environment. Some of the issues that the world's facing, the Israeli-Palestinian war, the aftermath and effects of that are showing up on college campuses across the nation. I'm a big believer in engaging with our students. We have to listen, ask people what's important to them. And that's how I've been working with our students, faculty, staff around this one particular issue. But safety is first and foremost. We spent a lot of time this summer reviewing our policies, making sure that we were more clear in what our expectations were. And then we had to communicate that out to the community, emphasizing that free speech is important and we have to model it. It's why a lot of the programming we're putting in place is around public discourse and civil discourse. We can bring 2 speakers in on a contentious issue that have very different viewpoints, but come to the middle at the end of the day to help move society forward.
Another area that both Henry Ford Health and Michigan State University have shared in common is our belief in being purposeful about diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's gotten complicated lately with court rulings and other just divisiveness around those issues. Any thoughts on how you see navigating forward in that space?
I'm proud of the fact that at Michigan State we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity is a fact. Equity is an aspiration, and inclusion, in my opinion, shouldn't be a choice around it. I think that if we're going to have a society where our students can learn through those different lived experiences, we need to have an inclusive and welcoming campus community. And so DEI is really important to us. You named the topic of the issue. We're better at solving it whenever those different lived experiences are around the table talking about it. And that's why one of the things I'm really excited about our partnership at Henry Ford MSU is that through our joint research enterprise, we're going to try to address issues around health disparities that plague our most vulnerable communities. It's important to the Metro Detroit area and the state of Michigan.
We're at the early stages of a 30-year partnership that I think both of us believe will go long beyond 30 years. Of the various components of this partnership, both big and small, what is on your excitement list? And then I may ask you what's on your worry list.
Well, first of all, let me just say that for Michigan State University to now have this partnership is going to just elevate our game. And I truly believe it's going to elevate Henry Ford's game. This is going to be important. It's going to allow us, just through the research center alone, I think, as a beacon That was a really fun day when we celebrated the groundbreaking over in Detroit.
You know, we are here to celebrate coming together for research, to create hope, to create innovation, and to create discovery. And that is something we should be collectively really, really excited about.
That center alone, nearly 350,000 square feet and 7 stories of state-of-the-art laboratory space, is going to be a game changer for all of us. We're going to expand research in key areas, including cancer. And as a neuroscientist, I'm thrilled at the work we're going to be able to conduct in the area of neuroscience, immunology, hypertension, and more. And I just think it's going to provide advanced technology to help us recruit top researchers from across the country. I think the Nick Gilbert Neurofibromatosis Research Institute that's going to be part of that is the first of its kind. And to partner with not just Henry Ford, but with the Gilbert Family Foundation is going to be really special. And that's just the beginning. I mean, it's not just about the research center, as you know, because it's also about the way we're going to have access for our medical students for placements out in the great clinical settings that Henry Ford provides, working alongside some of the world's leading clinician scientists and physicians.
You guys made a really big step towards Michigan State leaning in and wanting to have a bigger presence in the city of Detroit, not only with our partnership, but becoming the principal owner of the Fisher Building, one of the most iconic, nationally award-winning Art Deco buildings in the country, if not the world. In your dream list, what's that building look like in 5 years?
I would love nothing more than to create a campus, the MSU Henry Ford campus. I need to be sure that Michigan State has more of a presence in the city. 5 years from now, I hope that that building will occupy a lot of what we've just been talking about through the Henry Ford Health Michigan State University partnership. I think a lot of good will come from that. But I do envision some retail, a couple restaurants. We have some other property on the back side, which is currently a parking lot. We've talked about everything from a high-end grocery store to a boutique hotel that would be helpful for patients, families of patients that are coming into Henry Ford. And that'll draw in the research community as well. So a lot of opportunity, but I hope we're flying our joint flag there over at the Fisher Building in 4 to 5 years.
I know as much about retail to be dangerous, but I will tell you, we recently launched a Henry Ford logoed tennis shoe, really for our employees, that's really built for comfort. But we were blown away by how many outsiders, alumni of Henry Ford Health, patients of Henry Ford Health, that have been seeing this and saying, hey, where can I get those tennis shoes? Well, I think this blue and green set of retail products between our patients and our alumni and Michigan State's alumni, we might be onto something, man.
I like it, Bob. I knew that you and Michael Jordan had a lot in common. I'd forgotten about the sneaker deal.
I'll work the register on Saturdays. I don't care.
I love it. Well, count me in. I'm size 11 and a half.
All right.
I look forward to sporting those.
I'm going to have you answer a question. I want you to picture that you're not in a suit, you're not carrying the president title, but you're sitting on a beach somewhere. Tell the books you read, the music you listen to, the hobbies you participate in. What's behind Kevin Unveiled?
One of the things people may not know about me, I'm from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, 45 miles east of Pittsburgh. Happens to be the home place of Arnold Palmer, Rolling Rock Beer, and Mr. Rogers. That's my hometown, and I'm proud of that. It's a humble upbringing there. But I do like to golf. My handicap has gone higher and higher over the years in my leadership roles with less opportunity to play, but I still love getting out. It's those few holes that keep bringing you back. I'm a lifelong Pittsburgh Steelers fan. When I was recently asked what's on my bucket list, I said, how about a Pittsburgh Steelers Detroit Lions Super Bowl? That's my dream. Music-wise, spending a lot of time in North Carolina. I'm a big James Taylor fan. James Taylor was born and raised in Chapel Hill, which is where Amy and I raised our children.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina.
I am a huge James Taylor fan and probably have seen him more times in concert than any other artist. And my adult children now, who grew up in a very different generation of music and rejected most of the music that I love, they love James Taylor too. It's just, there's something about sitting at a campfire and listening to James Taylor music.
More recently, my kids have gotten me into the sort of modern country, the Chris Stapleton type.
First time that I saw you, you took my breath away.
If we search hard enough on the web, are we going to find a country line dancing video of you?
Oh, probably not. My 17-year-old daughter has said, please, I've seen your dance moves, and so let's not let anybody with a cell phone and a videotape that. So,
well, it won't stop us from searching.
Yeah.
Kevin, just in closing, tell me if you could have your dream headline about what you accomplished and what you've accomplished at Michigan State 5 years from now. What's that headline look like?
I think it's that Michigan State University tops $1 billion in research this year, solving everything from cancer to helping to build out our autonomous vehicles to removing PFAS from water to really solving some of the world's biggest challenges. That's what a great global public research university needs to be doing. And a lot of that can happen in this partnership with Henry Ford Health. So that would be a great headline because it's not just about the dollars. It's about the impact that those dollars have. Maybe the second headline might be that the Spartans win 6 national championships that year. So those would be fun headlines. I love that question.
Those would be awesome headlines, and you would have one headache with your phone ringing looking for tickets if those national championships were happening, but that'd be a good problem to have. Looking forward to partnering with you, and thanks for being on the BOBcast.
Thanks so much, Bob. It's been a lot of fun, and we're going to make this partnership even stronger than we ever imagined a few years ago.
Something that really surprised me about the interview is how calm and confident he was about finding this intersect between campuses still being an epicenter of free speech, an epicenter of where people grow, challenge, learn, and even protest, and yet doing so in a way that makes sure that we're securing the physical and mental safety of all, and it's being used as a learning experience, not a gotcha. And I thought his answer was particularly thoughtful about that, and that's right where we need to be heading. Once again, thanks for spending time with us and joining us on the BOBcast. I appreciate that you take the time to listen to these interviews, hopefully get motivated by some of the tidbits of speakers that you're hearing from, the wisdom, the way they prioritize, the way we learn together, and the way we partner. And today's was a perfect example of that. I hope you heard what I heard from Dr. Kevin Guskiewicz, and that's a commitment that goes far beyond just making sure we're preparing the next generation of students to enter the world, but actually doubling down on preparing them to be great citizens and partnering on ways that you can combine, in our case, research to crack the code on the next series of innovations, things that'll make a difference in your lives and the lives of your loved ones. And he talked about the agriculture school. Michigan State is world-renowned for their agricultural school, something that's going to be really important as we face climate change and we figure out how to adopt and adapt. But I wonder how many of us even know how much of the secret sauce of agriculture resides in that school, and how we could actually move towards getting back to food being our source of wellness, as opposed to today so much of our food causing the need for pharmaceuticals because of illness. Wouldn't that be unbelievably powerful? Dr. Guskiewicz is committed to doing it. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow, share, and leave us a review. Remember, every action we take today is a step towards the future we're building together. Let's keep striving, keep believing, and keep moving forward. Until next time, take care and keep making a difference.